Wigan,
Yeah.
they're quite good. What are you expecting of them on Friday?
Yeah, yeah, like I said, they're quite good out. They're the best team in the world. I was sick of seeing them last year at Castleford. I think we played them 4 times in first half of the season. I thought I got away with them. Not having to play them this year, but yeah, we've drawn them in the cup. But it's a free hit for us, isn't it? I know it's one of them statements that people will say when you're playing against a team that's in an higher division than you, but that's exactly what it is for us. It's a free hit. We want to go and test ourselves against a real good team, and we can build towards what is ultimately our goal this year, which is the championship season. So we're expecting Wigan to come and be what Wigan always are, which is clinical, tough, aggressive, and difficult to beat, and just a well coached team. So we're certainly looking forward to the occasion and seeing where we are as a team at this stage of the season.
This is almost a silly question to ask because everyone must be looking for the answer, but why are they so good at the moment?
I guess if everybody knew that, then everybody would be copying it, wouldn't they? I think it's just the way that the club's been run over a number of years, and how they've developed their own players, how they've recruited the world class players that they have done. And I think just anybody looking from outside in at the club as a whole, not just what they do on the field, but what they do off the field, how they conduct themselves, the class with what the club do things, not only within their own club, but how they recognise people from other clubs as well. I think it's a shining example of how rugby league clubs should be run. So I think it's what we're going to have done over a number of years, not just over the last sort of 6 months or 12 months. I think it's something that's taken the club many years to get to where they are today, and it's an example for everybody else involved in rugby league in the UK how our club should be run.
As you say, it's a free hit for you. No one's expecting you to win on Friday. What does a victory internally look like for you and the club?
I think initially it's competing. We've got our own targets and our own goals this season, and the Challenge Cup realistic for a championship team isn't a competition that's high on our agenda. The 1895 Cup is more a realistic ambition and a realistic objective for us, but it's going to be a great day, a great occasion for the club. Hopefully, financially get a big crowd there. Hopefully, show the people of Sheffield and businesses in and around Sheffield what a full house at Sheffield looks like if Sheffield do get back into Super League. I think there's an appetite there for Sheffield to get back into a full-time environment and hopefully a Super League environment in years to come. And hopefully this is an occasion that can show the sponsors and people that have got a little bit of money that might want to invest in a rugby league club that this is what Super League rugby could look like, and it should be a sellout for us. And hopefully we'll be able to in future sell out a game like this twofold as well. So I think for us on the field, it's competing as much as possibly can, but ultimately we need to get through this game without any injuries as well. And we'll see what else happens on the night. It's a Friday night under lights early on in the season, so it's a great opportunity for us to try and compete as best we can against a world class side.
As you say, they are the world champions. What's the feeling in training with the players? Are they excited about that challenge about coming up against the best in the world?
Yeah, well, since the draw were made, Sheffield played last year in the Challenge Cup at Wigan, didn't they? And I think they put in a real good performance there. And yeah, I think if you look at all the league games last season that Wigan played at home, I think Sheffield would probably run Wigan the closest in the majority of them games as well. So it's an occasion that the players are certainly looking forward to pitting themselves against world class players, full time environment, and it's not something that's alien to these players that we've got at the club this season because they did it last year. And obviously the fixture is switched this year. It's at our own place now, so it's on the 4G pitch, which might be a little bit of a strange occasion for Wigan playing on a 4G pitch, which they don't normally do. I think they might train on one, but it's not normally an occasion that people get to play on a 4G pitch, so hopefully we can use that to our advantage as well.
Hi, Craig.
Hey.
Good to see you again. How you doing?
Hi, Ollie. All right, mate.
Yeah, good, thank you. Just a few from me. I'll let the others get their turns before long. But first of all, just obviously there's a lot of Super League experience in this side, including a few of those new signings. Just wondering how much that will impact your side's performance against Wigan specifically.
Difficult to say that because I'm not sure how many of these players with Super League experience will actually be playing against Wigan. But a lot of the players who will be played against Wigan last year in the Challenge Cup, so they've got that experience of playing Wigan, of playing a Super League team in the last 12 months. So that will hopefully stand them in good stead as well. But they're certainly looking forward to, like I mentioned earlier, it's a great opportunity for a part-time player to pit themselves against world-class players, and Ben French's, Jai Fields of the world. You can't get to play against them players every week as a part-time player, so it's that massive occasion that our players are certainly looking forward to, and hopefully going to grasp.
Sure. Have you managed to watch any of that game from last year at all?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I've watched that game from last year. I've watched Wigan's friendly against Leeds as well this year. I think it's a little bit difficult when you're prepping a team right at the start of the season, because all teams maybe tried different things in pre-season friendlies that they might not want to try as the season's progressing, or they've not perfected to a certain degree at this moment in time. So I think sometimes you watch pre-season friendlies to try and get an idea about how a team's going to play, but it might not actually give you the full picture of how that's going to pan out on a game day. But it gives you a little bit of an idea with the players and maybe the partnerships that you're going to be coming up against on the game day.
Sure. And obviously, we're seeing a little bit of a trend in that you rarely get the easy starts. Obviously, round one last year was against Wigan. This is, the first game up against the professional side of the season. You could see that as a negative, but do you see that actually as a positive, as a way of seeing where your side is and seeing where you could aspire to be?
Yeah, I think so, mate. It's like I say, we know we're nowhere where we need to be at this moment in time, based on the transition that we've had with me coming in, new coaches have come in, new players coming in. Some of the injuries that we've got now, we're nowhere near where we need to. I think we've still only had 16, 17 sessions as a team. So it's difficult to ultimately say how everything's going to pan out for us. But as the season progresses, we hopefully going to get stronger and get some of these players back and get some combinations working and more competition for places. It's hopefully going to make us stronger as the season progresses and make players perform better both in training and on games.
Sure, and obviously it's a tough position that the squad's in at the moment. But do you think we'll be seeing many debuts on Friday at all?
Trying to think who will be playing. I think Massimo Tonga will play, so it'll be his first game. I think the other people who will played in the West Bowling game. So I'm not sure if there's going to be any more debuts other than Massimo. I'm not 100% sure.
I think last year when you at Cass, you mentioned you played Wigan a lot, and one of the games was a 10-8 loss at the Jungle, and obviously I think you pushed them obviously very close to giving the scoreline, but you've obviously got a different squad now. But is there anything you can take from that game in terms of the do's and don'ts against a team such as Wigan? Like what have you learnt from that game?
Yeah, you can't take any shortcuts. I think if you look for shortcuts, then you generally trying to find a shortcut ends up being the longest way around. So what you've got to do is you've got to make sure that you're really clinical in your execution. Your defence has got to be good. You can't take any shortcuts in your defence. Reducing the amount of penalties, 6 against that you give away, reducing the amount of errors, keeping possession of the ball. You've got to have at least 50% of the ball against these sort of teams. But I think defensively, you've got to be tough. You've got to be aggressive, and you've got to have that desire to want to defend. I think if you go in with the attitude that you're going to outscore a team like Wigan, then you're going to get beat quite easily. You've got to go with an attitude that you're going to try and out-defend them.